Alright everybody, this is Eternal Blade here and welcome back to the Crew's Cabin texturing tutorial. So you can see we're making some pretty good progress here on our entire tutorial. We're getting actually pretty close to the end. I do want to start cleaning up some of the image and carrying on. So the first thing is the grapes. If I can find them. Fruit was somewhere over here-ish. Apple. Grapes. Where are the grapes? Can't remember if we did a subsurface shader or not for the grapes. Here are the grapes. So I do want to make them maybe a bit sort of lighter. See, here's what color they are now. And here's sort of what color they need to be. So a bit lighter is I think the key here. So we're just going to lighten them up. And in fact, lighten all of these up a bit. Maybe green it. And like so. Okay, so if we just do that, and then we render just the grapes, hopefully they'll be a bit better. So they're still not the color I want them. Actually, let me go in here and just change our render settings. For the test renders, you don't need nearly as much, just 200 for the light cache, and then very low for the irradiance map. So maybe a bit more yellow. Perhaps yellow is the color we're missing. Alright, let's give it another go. And again, this is the image that we're trying to sort of replicate those grapes right there. So now, and the banana is also casting color, so that could be it. But that's not bad. That's pretty close. I think we can work with that. Okay, that should do nicely. All right. Next, I want to work on the chair sort of pinstriped texture here. So I had to fall off from the reflect map. I also want to fall off sort of in the diffuse. It's just the chair wasn't giving off the right image I wanted. So we're just going to go here, make that diffuse. Okay, and then mix it with, this can be black. And mix it with white, kind of 60%. Maybe 40% white. Alright, let's test that out, see what it gives us. So we're just going to grab the chair here and give it a render. Alright, so not bad, but we do need to make some tweaks. So let's go here and grab our handle. And maybe just sort of bring it up a bit like that. Okay, maybe do what is it, 1? Well, 0 should be completely white. So if we do that, what does this give us? That's actually pretty good. You can see how it kind of fades off, in the curves and stuff, kind of like what we have. All right. Also for the glass, the tinted fog glass, whatever we wanted to call it. Go here and maybe make the fog multiplier just a bit more, maybe 0.75, just to bring some of the fog color back. I wasn't, oops, my bad. Don't want to go to Steam. I do like playing video games, but not right now. Maybe just see how that affects over here. Okay, maybe put it to 0.5 and bring the blue up a little more. Perhaps that's what we needed. Oop, that definitely did it. Probably too much, but alright, let's back that down a bit. Okay, give it another go. Problem is, I think the blue is coming from the sunlight outside, not the actual glass. So that's sort of the problem that we're having. Okay, just a bit more blue than we had it. Alright, that should work nicely. Also, make sure to apply the bed material to the top of the blankets as well, up there. Okay, just to keep it consistent. And, ooh, whoa, don't move the camera. Perspective, what is happening over here? That's, oh, must be viewing the fall off map. I don't know why I was doing that. Strange. Okay. That's interesting. We want one. Let's rotate this. Sorry, rotate the gizmo here. 90 degrees is good. Guess, oh, box is really what we want. I'm not sure why. There we go. That is really weird. Not sure what's happening to our streaks and why they're doing that. Did we apply the wrong material? I think we applied the wrong material here. Is this the one we applied? We must have applied the wrong material on accident. Okay, well that's fine. I mean, it's just viewing this map. I guess we can just view this map in the viewport. That'll solve the problem. Well, will it though? Alright, that should be fine. Okay. I wanted to change this here. It was a bit, oops, there we go. Too detailed, as well as over here is too detailed. Just want to spread out the wood a bit. Okay, kind of like that. Will be perfect. And then what we can do, we already have the curtains done. Actually, where's the curtain material? Too hard to find it in this. Yes. Go over here to this little bit. And in the editable to poly, let's just grab that polygon. Grow, 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 grow. Actually, shrink one more. Give this set idea of 2. Okay. And then ID of 1 should be the rest of it. And then what we need to do is go to our outlet cover material here, and let's do a multi-sub-object material. Assign this to 1, and for 2, you can just assign this sort of dark plastic material we had been on. Okay, and oops, go back to our turbo smooth there. Alright, and assign it. That'll just make them nice and black. Well, oh, we had had a problem there. So go back into your editable poly, click, and grow, grow, grow. That's odd. Okay, set the ID as 2, and then let's just see. Edit, select invert, make sure that is ID is 1. Oh, there we go. Okay, so it must have just got some additional polys on accident. Alright, just so we give that a little bit dark area. And just trying to think of what else. So I guess we can work on the background here. So let's make a box. Boxes are good places to start with. Okay, kind of right there. And then let's apply a material, just a V-Ray material to it. Alright. And give it a diffuse material. This isn't the way we should do this. I'm just trying it to see if I can get it to work. And let's just give it this HDRI map. Okay. Show that in the viewport. So here's kind of what we got. And we go into the camera view. And you can sort of see our ocean thing. Okay. Now let's go to our frame buffer here and re-render out this little portion here and see what we get. Alright, so not bad. Just need to lighten it up a little bit. So let's go back to our bitmap here and just give it an output of maybe 3. This should lighten it up considerably. And let's re-render and see what we get. Alright, so still not quite what I'm looking for. We could do it using a V-Ray plane and like a environment, but really it's not worth it. Alright, we're just going to delete that. I think we'll just do it in post-production. Will be the best method for that. Let's see, what else do I want to do here? I guess we can begin to work on the lights a little bit. So let me full screen our Max viewport here and get rid of the material editor just for a bit. Bring this over here. So what we need is, well, we have a couple other materials that are sort of odd. This TV, something is wrong with it. So we're actually going to open up the material editor. Alright, and we had assigned it one of these ones. We're going to change it to maybe this one. Oops. Where did it go? There it is. So we're just going to assign it that material just in case it matters. And then our leather also is having some trouble. Let's go look at our leather material somewhere up here. I'm actually just going to render this right here and see what we get in our big render. Let me take off this and just render it. Okay, stop it. And let's just render out this area that we can see and care about. Alright, so this render is actually not bad. The reflections are probably a bit high on the leather though, so let's lower them a bit, and that should be good. Okay, back into our camera view here. So what else do we need to do? We're kind of coming in, like I say, on the end. Just thinking for a second. Oh yes, lights. So let's take a look at these lights here. So these are V-Ray lights, and not exactly what I want. So what we're using right now is a disc light. And think, let's go to the options here. It's double-sided, so it'll shine up. Yes, and it's invisible. Maybe we should make it visible, because we sort of want to see it right here. And let's say, let's always do the preview, so it's a directional light, so it's kind of shining down like that, sort of in a cone. I think we can probably increase, oops, not the resolution, increase this maybe a bit, kind of like so. Okay. Actually, I'll just give it a direction of 0. I mean, there's really no reason for it to need the direction. We'll just never show it. Alright. And actually, I wonder, trying to figure out what the best way to go about this is. Maybe we'll increase this pretty giant luminous power already. These guys, though, let me bring this to a 5. They're pretty large lights. Okay, and grab this, bring that, it's already a 5, good. Let's go to our camera view for a second, and let's take a look. V-Ray, let's see, show last frame buffer. Give it a quick render. Oops, sorry, cancel that. Let's give the whole thing a render. Okay, and then let's see, what did we just change? We were trying to look at light up here, so should be right above the TV, so somewhere here-ish. Let's render this little area out and see what we get. Okay, so cancel that, and we can refine it now that we know where it is. Alright, there we go. And let's see how it looks. By making it visible, we're sort of going to turn on, the white thing. The little white sort of hotspot. Alright, now that, though, is not good. Whatever that bleeding is around it. So let's go to our light, turn off double-sided, and try to re-render. I think that's what's causing that little bleeding around. Yeah, so that was causing, so that should resolve that problem. And I think these are instances, I'm hoping so. Let's see, double-sided, non-invisible, 95. Okay, good. So those are the same. So that solves the light problem there. And actually, let me try to think of the best way to work on this scene. So, alright, so now let's shrink this whole scene down to sort of real world size. So this bed I know is, well, I think it's 193 centimeters long. Let's see. Well, 80 inches, so quick conversion on Google here off screen. 80 inches, 2 centimeters is 203 centimeters. So let's go to a box and make this box 203 centimeters long. So now let's give it 10, and 42 is fine. Okay, so this whole scene needs to shrink down. So Control A, deselect everything but that. And let's just make sure we don't kill anything. So everything's scaling nicely to where this bed is sort of the size of that. Okay. So you can move it, that's fine. And looks like we need to scale it down some more. Okay. And we're pretty close, a little more maybe. Alright, right there, looks pretty good. Let's turn on our grid real quick and just center this back up. Okay, so there we go. Now our camera is messed up, but I think that's a price we have to pay. So yeah, we'll just go with it. Okay, so first let's find out where our camera is. Ooh, it must be super far away. That's odd. For some reason our camera isn't showing up here in the viewport. Unless it's tiny, which could be the case. So let's go here, select my menu, and cameras, select it. Huh. Is this the camera? Apparently it is. It's odd though because it doesn't have anything attached to it. Alright, why would scaling this scene down kill our camera? Alright, let's go back to before we scaled the scene. Okay. Now here's our camera, happily. Now we still don't see our camera. So, camera target. So this is the target of the camera, which is good, but we're not actually seeing. Aha! Okay, let's redo everything that we just did. No, okay. Select everything but the box, and we can scale down again. So basically, the camera was hidden, was the reason we messed up. Well, okay, that was a pretty good first try, I have to say. Alright, bring it over there, delete, and there we go, now our camera was preserved. So now, let me go to my render settings here. So render setup, it's going to appear somewhere, here we go. Let's just change this to 480 by 270, and we can use the adaptive subdivision. Mitcher Netrivali, I think will work for us. GI very low and 200 should work, and let's do a quick render of the entire scene here and see what we get. So you can see right now, since we scaled the scene down to realistic size, that immediately the everything gets overblown because our lights were just massively giant in compensation. So let's cancel this and think about some real world lights. So let's do real, so light lumens. I'm just Googling something on the other screen here real quick, light lumens. So here we go. Here's a quick little image here of how much each watt has in lumens. So I'm going to drag this off. I just Googled light to lumens. And we're going to sort of try to make these match. So luminous power, also known as lumens. Let's select it, and let's say this is 100 watts. So let's say 75. 1100. Okay. We're going to say this one over here is 100 watts, so 1600. And let's see, the light sort of in here is going to be 60 watt, 800, and the ones over here in the actual makeup area are going to be 100. All right, and that's good. So now let's re-render again and see if our image is too dark or what happened. Make sure you're in the right viewport here. We're still not rendering the right viewport. Here we go. Perfect. So let's check this out and see what we've got when it's done. Okay, so I basically can't see any of the reflections on any of the lights here. So let's actually try a different technique of doing this. So I'm just going to drag this off to the side. Let's go to Active Shade. We have our VRay RT, and let's just render this out. And I think it should provide us with an Active Shade window somewhere. Here we go. So I'm just going to bring this over, and actually let's stop rendering this. And let's see if we can use, yes, there we go. I have some CUDA cores. I have a NVIDIA processor, I guess it is. And let's re-render again with that. Let it start up. Alright, this is pretty brutal. We're going to stop this rendering here. It's killing my processor, or my graphics card. Alright, so we're just going to switch back to CPU. Alright, so yeah, that was just causing my computer to die, so we're just going to use the CPU. If I had 2 graphics cards, it would have been better, but I don't yet. So we're going to go back here into Active Shade and see what we get. So 640 by 480, that's far too big. We don't want that. Let's stop this. Output size, HDTV, and just do like a 480 by 720. That's probably more what we want. Alright, let's try to re-render it again here. Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to start making adjustments to these lights, and we're going to sort of zoom in on little sections here, kind of like that. Okay, so let's go over there. Actually, that's sort of over here. And let's grab that light and let's start changing it. So, oops, there we go. First, let's see. Luminous power is 800, but it's not quite what we want. So let's try 8,000. We're just gonna go big here and see what differences it makes. So immediately you can see that we're getting the reflections on the wall, that we wanted. The color seems a bit too hot, so maybe, or too cold, so maybe we're going to change this to, let's try 4,000. That'll sort of lighten up the color a little bit right there. And actually, let's just do this, give it an even smaller window. Okay. And maybe bring this to maybe 20,000. Okay. So 20,000 seems pretty good to me. I mean, we could increase the radius here maybe from 4 centimeters. 4 centimeters isn't very big for the radius. Well, actually it's 2 centimeters. So let's change this to maybe 3.5 and see what that does for us. Okay. Now let's go and look up here at some of these lights. So grab this and let's just add 2 zeros. No, 1 0. Okay, and see what we get. So we're getting kind of a bit brighter shape, but not much, honestly. So maybe we'll try temperature of 4,000 for this, just increase it a bit, and then we try 30,000 for the power. Gets us a little closer. Maybe try 80,000. That gets you a nice hot spot right there. Okay, we'll try 80,000. That means this one should be good as well. Okay, perfect. And just debating if this one needs a bit more power to it. Let me just drag this back a bit. Just try 40,000 just to see what it does. I think 40,000 is what we want there. Okay. Now let's go up here to kind of these little areas. And let's work on that one. So we have a V-Ray light here, just a plain light. And we're going to change this to maybe 40,000. Maybe 80,000. Maybe 200,000. Okay, closer, but I feel like that's not exactly doing everything we want it to do. So we're just going to grab this light, press R, and sort of scale it out a bit. Okay. We're going to make it double-sided. That way the light kind of goes up as well. Come over here. So it is placed correctly. Okay. Let's take a look over here and see what we've got. Alright, so those lights need to be drastically increased, probably to about, oh, I don't know, 20,000. Sounds pretty good. It's not bad. Maybe 30,000. Okay, and that means that one should have changed as well. Okay, so we've sort of edited our lighting a little bit. Next, let's just get rid of that. Take a look at the whole scene here, and we're going to go to our sun, of which apparently we have two. I did not know. Going to delete one, which darkens everything up, I guess. Go here. Let's just change the size or intensity multiplier to maybe 3. Just see if we can brighten up the room here. It might be too bright, you know, but just to test it out, because we do need a bit more light shining into the room. Alright, 3 doesn't seem to be bad. Kind of liking 3. Alright, let me just sort of zoom in over here for a bit and see what this looks like. Okay, not bad. And let's get up here for a while. Obviously outside's really overexposed because of the sunlight. There's only so much you can do about that. Alright, let's stop this active shade here. Close it out. Go to our render window here. Change this to just production render. And make sure the size is good, and let's give it a render here at our current settings. Take that off, make sure we're in the right viewport here, and render away. Alright, so here's the image we get. It seems that, I don't know if something's wrong with the glass or not. I don't remember it being gray. Let's go here to our frosted or blue glass material and just assign it. There we go. I think something was just up with it. I don't know quite what it was. But other than that, we're getting a little closer. I think it's too bright, so we're just gonna bring the sun down to maybe 2. That should work. And let's also go to the size multiplier here. Let's just change this to about maybe 10. just to give us some hopefully softer shadows here on the couch. So we're gonna just grab this little area here and re-render and see if that does what we think it's gonna do. Alright, so we're definitely getting a little softer shadows. Maybe even, let's try 40. That should give us super, super soft shadows sort of everywhere. Hopefully none of these harsher shadows. Okay, and then let's check over here. Because we had shadows from the chair, so those should be basically blurred out now. And they are, perfect. Alright, let's do an overall rendering again, and let's see where we are. Alright, so here we are. So you see we have some nice soft shadows on the couch now, much better. The glass here is looking excellent. This glass still looks a little dark to me. Does it look like we have 2 panes of glass there? There's no way. Huh. We don't have 2 panes of glass, but the pane of glass certainly did move up a little bit. Alright. We're going to grab this, and we're actually going to shrink it pretty drastically, I think. Just make it real thin, and then let's position it, you know, sort of on the table where it was. Okay. Let me just check that in a couple other views here. Make sure we're sort of doing the right thing. So what is this? Is this a second piece of glass? I think it is. So we actually have 2 pieces of glass. I wonder if that's what was causing the problem the whole time. Could very well have been. Okay, well, anyway, let me just grab sort of this stuff. Okay, deselect that, and let's just drag this up a little bit, just so it doesn't intersect with our glass. Perfect. And go over here, and let's give that area a re-render from the camera view. Just right here. Oh, there we go. That looks much better. Now that we've thinned it out and fixed it a little bit. Now our TV over here seems to be having some issues still. It looks really, really splotchy. I'm not exactly sure why that is. And you can see it there. It could be the render settings, but I'm not convinced. And these lights over here look really small. So what we're gonna do is perspective Z. Grab one of those lights here, and there should be, I thought there was some geometry in here. Perhaps not. Let's add a cylinder using auto grid. We'll just add it right here. Okay, and you don't have to worry about height segments or anything. And let's just drag it over kind of to the center of this bulb and drag it down. Okay, go to your material editor. Let's make a try a V-Ray light material for it. Assign it, and the light color is going to be sort of orangish like that. Okay, now grab that and drag it over to the other light we have. Alright, position it and drag it into place. Okay, so now I'm hoping, since we've done that, if we re-render these little areas here, we should have a little better light. No, we don't. Okay, so go to your material editor V-Ray light, and let's do 50 and see if we get anything there. Huh, getting something now. 500. Perfect. So 500 is what we need, and that should do it. Now back over here. Not happy with the amount of light we have. It seems pretty. I mean, I can't even see it anywhere in here. So let's go into our V-Ray light there. Let's just increase this with another 0. 300,000 definitely ought to have some effect. Okay. And you can see we're now starting to get something here at least. And let's trying to think of my best course of action for what I want to do. That's all stuff is good. Alright, I'm going to render a big image and just render the TV here. So I'm going to go to V-Ray, 1920, and render it out. Well, just part of it, really. Stop. Re-render. Stop. And let's just render the TV out here. I'm actually going to increase my settings here as well. Oops. Somewhere medium and 1000. And see if our TV has those same splotches that it did before. Alright, so we still have a few splotches. Let's just, I think it's the amount of samples we have, so maybe increase our light cast to 2000 and let's try again. Alright, so that didn't help anything, so let's put that back to 1000. We're trying to figure out which setting it is that's affecting this. Let's just try high and see if this has any effect for the global illumination part at least. So we're still getting quite a bit of noise there. So we'll go back to medium. And let's go to our V-Ray here. Let's change the max rate of the subdivision sampler to 3. And this to 0. And let's try re-rendering now. So it looks like that helped a little bit. Just trying to see if I should possibly change this. I don't think I should though. That's not bad. Still a little bit blurry, but we're not at max settings or anything. And it really could be the specularity too causing it. Let's go to our materials here for a bit. And let's just check this one right here. Okay, we're going to call this TV. Just basically trying another test here. And we're going to give this a pretty high reflection. I mean, TV screens, if you've seen them, actually do have a pretty high reflection. I think 0.85. Okay. And 0.8. There we go. Yeah. Kind of like 0.85 with a bit lower reflection. Okay. We're actually going to assign that to the TV screen. Okay, and let's re-render and see if this has any effect. Alright, there we go. So that was sort of the issue, was the specularity. Now it's exactly what I want, kind of a nice fade off into the sun there. So that is perfect. Alright, next let me try and work on the background here. I think we have to cheat. So let's think about this. Go to perspective here. And let's make a V-Ray plane. Okay, and I wonder, are you allowed to assign materials to a V-Ray plane? Let's see. We're just going to give it just some material to see, a red material. Assign, go to your camera. Open back up your image thing here, and let's just take this and see if we get any red. Okay, so we need to actually lower that plane down to where our image is. So actually that plane is going to be sort of a lot lower, kind of down here, because we're on a ship sort of high up. So I figure we're on floor 6 should be good. So anyway, we can give this an image to render, so that's good. So even though that's good, I don't think that's what we want. I paused for a second to think about it. I don't think this is what we want. I think we do want just an environment background. So, alright, so we're definitely just going to do this sky over here in post-production. I can't really think of a way to do it without messing up everything. I mean, my typical go-to thing is an environment map, but we sort of have V-Ray sky there. Let me actually try a few things, and then we'll see how it goes. Alright, so I thought about it. We're definitely doing it in post-production. I can't really think of a good way to do it inside of Max, and we probably shouldn't. But one of the things I wanted to do before we get ready to render our final image here is go into our materials and find our curtain material, wherever it may be. Bed. This looks like a curtain. Then we do the same thing with the curtain that we did with the bed, where we're going to have a fall off map. So in diffuse, we can get rid of that. Standard fall off. Okay. Put this into 1 and 2. And then we're going to mix it about 40. Okay, that'll give it kind of maybe 30. Get it whiter on the outside edges. Okay. And then if we go here and just re-render this little portion, that should help us up a bit. And in fact, what we might do, just looking at this, is make it a bit paler to begin with. I almost think it's a bit too dark, but that's actually not bad. And I guess once we have that filter in, or that fall off map in there, so I think we can go with that. Let's just render this out and see. Yeah, that should be fine. That's light enough to where I'm happy with that. All right, and actually, let me see here. Perspective Z. Whoa. Oh yeah. I had accidentally turned on the viewport background, environment background here. I was playing with it in the hopes I could get some good background stuff going, but it didn't work. So, what I was doing was taking this, okay, and maybe adding a noise modifier. Alright. The reason being is I think it's almost too perfect. Kind of do X and the Y a bit, and maybe just bring the scale down a tiny bit just to get some imperfections in there. Okay. And maybe just copy it over here and change the seed. There we go, just to sort of get those imperfections, and maybe bring down the X just a bit, which is the Y. The Y, and the Z is front to back, so maybe a little Z in there, maybe a little Z in this one as well. Okay, there we go, just to give it some additional kind of look to it. Okay, so let's open up our image here. I just want to check on our book to see how that is. Alright, cancel that, make sure you're in your camera view here, and then re-render your book. that leather book is perfect, just perfect. There's no issues at all with that. Just trying to think of anything else. I'm going to leave these lights as is. I just decided it's not worth it for the frosted glass in there. I mean, the material I have works, but it's just so render intensive. I almost like the look of this material that I have here better, the lampshade material. So we're going to stick with that for the makeup lights there. So I think once this finishes rendering here, just so I can check it out, I think we're going to render out a full image. Actually, I know what needs to happen. Hold on, cancel this. This is always gray, and I can never figure out why. I think the reason is because technically there's no background to this, so it has no reason not to be gray. So, sorry about that, got a phone call. But anyway, so what we need to do, which will probably greatly affect our render, is come here to the back of this, and let's ring this. No, not ring this. We want to think about this here. Yeah, we just want to. I don't want to grab those vertices. That'll kill everything. So let's just select all this geometry here, and that's odd. Alright, if we extrude this, what's exactly going to happen? Alright, so what needs to happen is these need to come down. Okay, and then these need to sort of come up. Ha! Now if we go to polygons and we select these ones as well, I think we'll have the extrude we're looking for. Yeah, basically. Ooh. What do we do? Alright, let's make all these vertices even. There we go. Now, if we extrude, we should have a nice extrude. Happy extrude. Okay, and then now that we have that, let's just make a box right here. It doesn't matter how thick it is. And put it against the back, just like this, to block the light. And we'll give it the sort of darker of the two wall textures, which are somewhere. Yeah, you really should organize your textures better. This is wasted time. Paint, panel, pillow, ceiling, we're getting close. Back wall, main wall, this is the one we want. So, assign the main wall material, I'm just going to drag it from my other monitor onto that one there. Perfect. Alright, and then if we go to the camera, we should still be good. Okay, now let's go here and re-render this and see what we get. So you can immediately see that that's turned sort of a darker color because of the brown wall that we have. I actually think for the scene though, let's cancel this rendering here. We need to make that wall, oops, perspective, we need to make that wall our lighter color. So make it the back wall. We'll just give it the lighter color because I think it'll just lighten up the scene a bit. Alright, so I'm going to render this image out as a whole, and we'll come back and see what we get once it is done. Alright, so turn off your, whatever this is, render region, and let's render away. Alright, so here is the rendering. Took a while, but I can see we have a few areas to work on. One is this right here. I haven't seen this before, so I'm guessing something moved. But what needs to happen is this glass basically has to, I'm guessing, go down. So we're just going to try to just bring this right down, just like that. Okay, so it'll be thick, but it should still be inside. So if we go into our camera and we just grab this little portion right here and re-render it, this should solve our main issue, I hope. Okay, well clearly that wasn't the solution, so let's cancel that. Go back into perspective and let's instead make that very thin here. And let's grab these two things and isolate selection just real quick. And let's ensure they don't touch. So we're good, okay. End isolation mode, go back into our main view here. And let's not do that. Show that last frame buffer and let's re-render again. Okay, that didn't really resolve it either. Well, in the meantime, let's go to our material editor here, wherever it may be, and let's look at our curtain material. Somewhere over here. Let's show that in the viewport. Okay, and you can see on these we don't really have a good texture. Let's do a UVW map. Okay, let's use a box, should work. And then let us adjust the tiling here, maybe 0.25, 0.25, 0.25, just to get it to about the same. There we go. Maybe even a bit bigger. Let's try 0.15. Perfect. Okay, and then do the same over here. So UVW map. Let's get a box and 0.15. Alright, there we go. That resolves that issue. The other thing was, for our plant material, wherever it was, this one here. So that was some strange texture. Let's go to Photoshop and open it up. That was this one here. Image, adjustments, brightness, contrast. I just want to darken that up. Okay. Perfect. It was just too light. I wasn't a big fan of it. Now let's attempt to resolve this strange issue here. I guess let's bring this up a little bit. Okay, and then let's click that and isolate selection here. Where'd it go? Okay, isolate selection, and let's see about moving this up just a tad. I just don't know why it would have these little marks on it. Okay, maybe we'll just grab this, ring, perspective, and maybe give these a slight chamfer. Okay, end isolation mode. Let's go into our regular view here, and we can just re-render this little area here. Let's see what that does for us. Alright, that looks like it resolved the edge issue there. I really don't think there's anything else I want to do to this image, so let's save this image real quick here. Work in progress, just call it 26, I guess. Okay, and let's, what do we want to do here? let's open up that image in Photoshop. Alright, so that would be cruise cabin, work in progress, 26. Here we go. Undo that. Let's do a magic selection here. Just, oops, deselect sort of. And it doesn't really want you to do that. Color range. Nope, didn't work either. Trying to think of the best method for. I should have rendered this out with alpha, but don't know if I can do that now. Let me see. Okay, so we have this alpha image here. If we just go to RGB color and alpha, save this out as alpha.jpg. Okay, and then I think we can, let's undo what we've done here. Alright, and then if we go to File, Open, let's open up that alpha. Copy and paste it, and then create a clipping mask. Okay, so I figured it out. So you just take your layer, your black and white layer, go to select color range, click on the black in the middle, and it'll select it for you. And then what you can do is delete the layer, is just with the selection chosen, go back in your main image and then delete it out. This way, that's weird. This way you can delete everything, you don't have to worry. Now what we can do is just go to images, or actually we have a pretty good image already. So navigate to our textures folder. I believe we had one we liked. I guess this ocean texture will do. Put it below, you can paste it in, I guess. That's fine. Put it below there. And we can just move it until we get it sort of into position. Okay. Now what we have to do is just sort of adjust it so it matches. So let's see, how are we going to do that? I think we should maybe make a new folder here. Okay. And delete that. Don't need it. Let's see. We want to not merge visible, but rasterize the layer. And file new. Okay. Image adjustments. Let's go to hue and saturation. We just need to desaturate that a bit. Okay. There we go. Maybe. Well, we'll try that. And paste it in. It's not bad. Okay. So now we've got our background image in there. And I'm basically going to say, well, I do want to try a little extra here. Let's create a new layer. Go to our, what do we want? Dodge tool. Oh, there we go. Oh, wrong layer. Yeah, okay. So let's go to our dodge tool here. Let's just sort of delete this other layer, which is in the way. And then let's just want to sort of dodge in a little highlight here. Kind of like the water is, you know, like the sun's almost reflecting on it. Okay, there we go. All right. And now we can copy. Let's go back to our main image here, and let's paste it and delete the bottom two. And let's actually Control T. And let's shrink this down a bit. Okay. How about there? Yeah. Right to about there seems good. All right, so I'm gonna say that's a wrap. I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. I know I learned a lot. I know there are a few things I still have to learn. You know, as an example, is making this glass look a little better, maybe working on the frosted glass to figure out how the rendering it works. I just wasn't able to successfully do that. And actually, I'm supposed to re-render these little bits that I did before. So I'll, actually, let's just do that now. We're here, might as well. So just go into your RGB channels here and just grab a little selection right here and re-render. It'll take a couple seconds. Alright, and once that's done, we're going to want to grab the ones over here and just do the same. Okay. Alright, there we go. And then you can just copy this image over. Let's just save it as 27. Doesn't hurt. Okay. You can, what the heck is the copy button? I swore there was a copy button here somewhere. Alright, well, just go to your work in progress, 27, drag it onto your Photoshop. Okay, and then go to your alpha that we saved. Don't want to worry about it. Don't worry about it. Okay, file, open your alpha. Okay, just Control A, C, paste it in, hide everything else. Select color range, just grab the black, and then go to your main image, I guess. You think about which one's the right one. So the one below is the right one. So delete this one. Delete the layer, yes. And then we can rasterize this layer and delete that out. Okay, put our delete the alpha layer there. Alright, and there we go. That looks pretty good to me. Let's just do a couple little enhancements here. Image adjustments, curves. Just brighten it up, just to give it a bit more contrast. Okay, that looks pretty good right there. One other thing, well, okay, let's go back, do it right. We redid the plants as well, so we're just gonna grab those and re-render them. Okay, just because the plants were a bit darker in the actual other image, so we want to make sure we capture that. So we'll just save that as 28. Okay, and let's open up number 28. All right, there we go. Just place it in there, and you can just delete everything else out of it. But rasterize it. There we go. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, well, okay, that won't quite work that way. So, man, this sucks. Alright, get your alpha again. We should just leave this in here. Select color range. Okay, go here and delete. There we go. And then we can do the couple little adjustments we did before. What is this? Okay, well, we don't really need that. So let's see. It's so subtle, I don't even know if it's worth it. I think we'll just leave it at the rendered image. Okay, So here we go. This is the final product. I hope you guys have thoroughly enjoyed this tutorial. Maybe you learned a few tips and tricks. You might have seen me struggle. I mean, this was probably near 14 hours, so it was really long. But I know I had a lot of fun, and I know I'll be doing another one. So I hope you guys had a great time. Have a great holiday, and I'll hopefully be hearing from you soon, as well as posting a couple more videos. So this is Eternal Blade, and happy modeling.